Okay, we've got time for rebuttal then.
One person from the group.
He's on. Sorry for the delay.
Go ahead.
You ready? All right. So, what you heard tonight is more of the same of what we've heard in the past. Prejudicial statements about people who are gonna come to this site and be at our hotel, or they're thieves, or they're gonna assault, children. I mean, it's all these things that just keep going and going and going, and there's just all these problems. But I wanted to focus first on this finding of facts that the attorney for the Lake Management District submitted. There's a dispute, our property is zoned both R1 and B3. And he cites a code section that says you can't use another property to determine, your requirements on your site. So in other words, if I have a piece of property, 1 acre, but I need a 3-acre site, I can't go to my neighbors and use my neighbor's site as 3 acres. What the code section he cited says is you can't use another property. It doesn't say we can't use our own property. It says you can't use another property. Parking deficiencies, we worked with Matt and this committee to reduce the number of parking spaces, so we're in compliance with parking spaces, so I would just disregard that section. In his lot area deficiency section, he talks about, we have 3 principal uses. We have conditional uses, and the code allows for, if you have conditional uses so our conditional use is a hotel, and we can have as an accessory use to a hotel, a coffee shop and things. We don't have to have a larger lot just because we have a 300 square foot coffee shop. His next point is in shoreline regulations. We don't have enough pervious surface, as I said earlier. We'll comply with whatever pervious surface requirements you want. In the well section, a couple of things, and I know they brought in a well expert. First of all, in this finding of facts, it talks about high capacity wells. This is not a high capacity well to begin with. And there was criticism that this well is 63 years old, implying that it doesn't work, or it doesn't work properly. There's no indication it doesn't work. And then the other thing about the well is we have to come back to the county to get a well permit, not this body, but another portion of the county. And we're gonna do that, and we gotta go to the state. So if there's issues with the well, we'll comply with, if they say you gotta do something different, we'll do it. But there's no indication that this well is broken, or that it's gonna reduce the level of the lake, or there's any other issues with it. And if anybody finds any issues along the way through either the county or the state, we'll take care of it. Sorry, I got notes everywhere. Oh, the other thing, the environmental engineer said there's no hard pan, but Dr. Singh showed me in one of the exhibits to that engineer's study, there actually is a hard pan reference in that study. The other thing about the well is, again, this is not your purview. You're just here to look at the conditional use permit. We'll come back to the county and the state if we need to, and we'll do whatever they require with respect to the well. We have no mitigation plan was one of the statements. We complied with the conditional use permit requirements. Matt said that himself, and we've worked hard over the years to comply with all that. There's no need right now for a mitigation plan as we see it, because it's not in your requirements.
sitting almost 3.5 hours. Is there a chance that maybe some of the board members might need to
Take a break for our
take
discussion.
a couple minute break to use facilities? Is that appropriate, Mr. Potter?
Yeah, let's close these meetings. If we could close the hearing first and then if you wanna call the time. And then just a reminder to the committee and the members of the public, if you're passing each other on the way to the restroom, that's not the time to lobby.
I would suggest that our committee here use the private bathroom here. in your-
Yeah, and then there's no discussion about the topic until we get back in the room.
So we got the rebuttal hearing.
Yep, so you can close the hearing.
Right, so this hearing is now closed, and then we'll take a 5-minute recess